When I turned 61, I didn't throw a party. I bought a secondhand sailboat, sold my house, and disappeared down the coast. Friends thought I'd lost my mind. You're giving up comfort for what? A floating shoebox with chores? But let me tell you something. I've never felt richer. Not in the wallet, maybe, but in spirit, in peace, in how I sleep at night and wake up smiling. And I'm not alone. All across the world, men over 60 are quietly slipping the lines, leaving behind polished kitchens and spotless lawns for something far less shiny and far more alive. We're choosing boats over mansions, not because we're running away from life, but because we finally figured out how to live it on our own terms. Let me walk you through why that choice makes more sense than most folks realize. When men over 60 choose to live on boats instead of staying in large homes, it's not because they're giving something up. It's because they're choosing something better: freedom. Freedom becomes more valuable with age, especially after decades spent meeting expectations, maintaining routines, and being tethered to jobs, bills, and responsibilities. A mansion may offer comfort, but a sailboat offers liberation, and that's what makes the trade worthwhile. The freedom of boat life isn't just symbolic, it's deeply practical. On a boat, you wake up when the sun rises, not when an alarm rings. Your days aren't dictated by traffic or calendars, but by wind and tide. You choose where to go, when to leave, and how long to stay. The world becomes your backyard, and every anchorage holds the promise of something new. This ability to move, to explore, and to make decisions without anyone else's permission is a powerful form of independence. Even in retirement, many people feel boxed in by the upkeep of traditional homes. There are always repairs to manage, expenses to track, and things to organize. Mansions can be beautiful, but they often come with a lifestyle of management: lawn care, home security, property taxes, cleaning services. The house ends up demanding attention, energy, and money. It becomes something you serve, rather than something that serves you. In contrast, a boat simplifies those expectations. Yes, boats need maintenance, but the work feels different. It's personal, purposeful, and directly tied to your own movement and safety. You're not fixing a window to boost curb appeal. You're repairing a line so you can sail to the next harbor. There's meaning in the tasks and pride in the outcome. That shift in mindset, from ownership to experience, is central. A house is about accumulation. A boat is about exploration. Men over 60 often start to see time differently. There's less interest in collecting things and more focus on collecting moments. A boat allows for that shift. There's no sense keeping up with the neighbors when your neighbors change every week and everyone's barefoot. Then there's the emotional freedom. Boat life creates room for reflection, for solitude, and for reconnection with nature. There are no streetlights or TV rooms to distract you. Just the open sky, the movement of water, and the gentle sound of the wind. It fosters a kind of peace that large houses, no matter how lavish, can't quite provide. So, when a man over 60 leaves his mansion behind and steps aboard a sailboat, it's not an act of downsizing, it's an act of reclaiming. He's not turning his back on comfort, he's choosing a different kind of comfort, one that's built on independence, clarity, and the unmatched joy of a life unbound. In a world that constantly pushes for more space, more stuff, more noise, simplicity can feel radical. But for men over 60, it often feels like coming home. After a lifetime of complexity, of juggling work, family, property, and pressure, choosing to live simply on a sailboat becomes a deliberate act of peace. And that simplicity turns out to be a kind of superpower. Living on a boat naturally forces a person to pare things down. Space is limited, and that limitation becomes a gift. There's no attic to hide forgotten boxes, no garage to fill with tools you might someday use. Every item on board must earn its keep. This leads to a kind of clarity that's hard to find in a house. You start to understand what you truly need and what you don't. You make choices based on function and value, not impulse or habit. That simplicity isn't just about physical things. It affects your schedule, your habits, even your thoughts. Life becomes quieter in a good way. Without constant alerts, errands, and appointments, you begin to settle into a rhythm that matches the natural world. You wake with the sun, sleep with the stars, and spend your days doing things that actually matter to you. Whether it's sailing to a new harbor, cooking a meal, or fixing a rigging line, there's satisfaction in every task. Simplicity also brings freedom from financial weight. A boat, especially a modest one, often costs far less to maintain than a traditional home. There's no property tax, no landscaping bill, no endless upgrades. You spend less, need less, and worry less. This financial freedom allows for more meaningful use of time. Instead of managing things, you're enjoying moments. There's also a deeper mental and emotional impact. With fewer distractions and obligations, your mind begins to clear. You start to notice more, small changes in the weather, the sound of water against the hull, the way your body feels after a swim or a walk along the shore. There's a growing sense of connection, not just to the environment, but to yourself. This stripped-down way of living doesn't feel like deprivation. It feels like wisdom. Simplicity lets you focus on relationships that matter, experiences that enrich, and time that flows naturally instead of being divided into tasks. And it invites gratitude for the things that remain. For men over 60, the choice to live simply on a boat is about more than getting away from the world. It's about getting closer to life. In this simplicity, there's strength, peace, and a joy that no mansion full of gadgets can match. It's not about less, it's about more of what matters. Something unexpected happens when a man over 60 trades his driveway and front porch for a dinghy and a cockpit. He often finds more connection than he ever had on land. While large houses and suburban living promise comfort and privacy, they often come with isolation, especially later in life. Neighbors rarely talk. The pace of life slows, but not in a meaningful way. Days can blur and social circles shrink. It's easy to feel alone even in a crowd. The sea flips that on its head. In the sailing world, community isn't just a perk, it's a necessity. Sailors help each other out because they've all been there, stuck with a dead battery, tangled in a mooring line, or caught in a storm. That shared experience builds a fast kind of trust. You don't need to know someone's name or backstory. If they're waving from the next boat over, you wave back. And if they need help, you offer it. Harbors, marinas, and anchorages are full of stories waiting to be told. Walk down a dock and it's not unusual to be invited aboard for coffee or a sundowner within minutes. People are generous with time, tools, advice, and conversation. There's no keeping up with the Joneses, no silent competition, just mutual respect, laughter, and the occasional potluck on the dock. This kind of connection is especially powerful for older sailors who may have lost social networks to retirement, relocation, or life changes. At sea, community is fluid but real. You might share a harbor with someone for 3 days, then meet again months later in a different country, and pick up right where you left off. On land, socializing often requires effort, planning, and intention. On the water, it happens naturally. You're living among people who value experience, resilience, and good stories over status or schedules. That creates a stronger, more genuine bond. For men over 60, this community can be a lifeline. It offers friendship, support, and a deep sense of belonging. It reminds them that they're part of something bigger than themselves. And in a world that can sometimes feel like it's moving on without them, that's worth more than any amount of square footage. A sailboat might not look like a gym, but it quietly offers everything a man over 60 needs to stay fit, engaged, and full of purpose. The lifestyle demands just enough physical effort to keep the body working, just enough problem-solving to keep the mind sharp, and just enough unpredictability to make every day interesting. Staying active on a boat isn't about routines or workouts. It's about necessity. Whether it's raising sails, checking lines, hauling provisions, or simply moving around on a rocking deck, boat life engages the entire body. Strength, balance, and coordination all get regular use. Even climbing in and out of a dinghy becomes an exercise in mobility and focus. It's real-life movement that keeps the body healthy without feeling like a chore. But the health benefits go beyond the physical. The mind stays engaged, too. Living on a boat means constant learning about weather, navigation, systems, and maintenance. Planning routes, watching tides, and adjusting for conditions all sharpen the mind. There's no autopilot for this kind of living. You stay alert, involved, and responsible for your choices. Purpose comes naturally when your home is a vessel that needs your care. Every small task, checking engine oil, fixing a pump, or plotting a safe anchorage, carries weight. There's satisfaction in problem solving and in keeping everything running smoothly. These daily wins create a rhythm that gives the day structure and meaning. On land, retirement can sometimes feel like drifting. Days pass without clear goals, and it's easy to lose that sense of being needed or useful. On a boat, there's always something that needs doing, planning, or improving. That creates motivation and a sense of accomplishment that doesn't fade with age. Add in the natural environment, and the health benefits multiply. Fresh air, sunlight, and saltwater swims do wonders for the body and spirit. The slower pace encourages better sleep. The reduced noise and distraction create space for calm, and the connection to nature helps ease stress and improve mood. All told, boat life offers one of the most well-rounded paths to staying healthy and engaged later in life. It's not extreme, it's not rigid, it's natural. For men over 60 looking to stay sharp, strong, and centered, the deck of a sailboat might just be the best place to stand. For many men over 60, time becomes the most precious thing they have. Not money, not things, just time, clean, unclaimed, and truly their own. And for those who choose to live aboard a sailboat, that's exactly what they gain. Time not ruled by calendars or carved up by clocks, time they own. On land, even in retirement, time can still feel like it's not really yours. There are appointments, family obligations, bills to manage, repairs to schedule, and social expectations to keep up with. A big house might seem like it offers more freedom, but it often comes with more responsibilities that quietly eat away at your hours. Before long, days start to feel full, but not fulfilling. Life on a boat is different. Out here, the schedule is yours to create. There's no rush hour, no dry cleaning to pick up, no endless to-do list filled with things that don't truly matter. Instead, you wake up and decide what kind of day it's going to be. Maybe you'll sail to a nearby island, or maybe you'll stay anchored and read in the shade. Maybe today's project is fixing a leaky hatch, or maybe it's just watching the sky change from morning blue to sunset gold. This kind of open time is more than relaxing, it's transformational. It lets you reconnect with your own rhythm. After years of working, raising families, and handling responsibilities, that freedom to follow your own pace can feel like a second chance at life. You begin to notice things again, the way the light hits the water at noon, the songs of birds along the coast, the taste of a simple meal you cooked yourself. Owning your time also means choosing who you spend it with. You're not stuck in patterns or places out of convenience. You can sail toward friends, away from noise, or into unfamiliar harbors where new faces and stories are waiting. Every interaction becomes a choice, not an obligation. This freedom also fosters reflection. With no TV blaring in the background, no errands to distract you, you start thinking more deeply. You remember things. You dream again. You ask yourself what you want the next chapter to look like, and you actually have the time to shape it. Sailing doesn't eliminate life's challenges. There are still rough days, repairs, and uncertain weather. But the difference is, those moments belong to you. You chose this life, and with it comes the gift of presence. You're not just passing time anymore. You're living it. For men over 60, that might be the greatest treasure of all. Not just floating through retirement, but waking up each day with full ownership of your hours, choosing how to spend them, savoring the ones that feel sweet, and knowing deep down that every minute belongs to you. Choosing a boat over a mansion isn't about giving something up. It's about finally living on your own terms. Out here, life feels real, time feels yours, and every day holds something new. Thanks for coming along. See you out on the water.